Alrighty traders, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about silver and gold, give you guys a bit of a silver and gold update and show you what I'm seeing right now in the markets. Let's go straight into it. Guys, do not place trade based on what you'll see in this video. Trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making money in the markets, and trading does take you a long time to become a good trader. Also guys, if you haven't grabbed the free trading course, then make sure you do the very first link in the description. Let's get straight into today's video here on the silver and gold markets. Now, a lot of people have been saying a few things. Well, if the market's going to crash, that's the if scenario, then silver and gold are going to go up. That's also that scenario. But who says they both can't go down? Right? Who says they both can't go down? Because if you go back to some of my old videos and go back to 2008, yes, we had a little rally before 2008, but what actually happened in 2008? The stock market and silver and gold sold off at the same time. They sold off at the same time. So if I'm looking at this markets right now, I'm looking at, say, let me bring up, say, the SLV, because my silver and gold data, and this particular platform anyway, is actually sort of going bung on me. So let me just bring up, say, the SLV. I'll bring up the GLD. And if I bring up the GLD here, the GLD price, and I can see here, right, like, once again, I did a video a few days ago saying short-term, small picture, big picture. The small picture is going up, right, but we're slowly going up, aren't we? But it's not really getting some strong movement in. We're not getting a lot of buys here. We're not getting a lot of strength breaking up and breaking down. We're actually getting, as you can see here, right, we actually got to drop down with a bit of a volume here. But when you look at that big picture here, remember the big picture is actually the one that's really who's in control of this markets. And if you, once again, if you look at my overall market through here, my trend analysis, and if I bring up, so that's that point through there. And if I bring up, say, this point here to this point here, and I bring a level through here, what I'm doing here right now, guys, by the way, is I'm just highlighting what? That 50 to 60% level of this downtrend. So you can see here that we have this, let me zoom in a little bit more. On gold, right, we have this big drop down, and now we're just getting a bit of a pullback. Now, again, guys, the probability is of this eventually rolling over where we are right now and starting to head down is very high. Don't be trying to fight this market, because if you look at what the market is telling you, look at the last two legs and tell me which one is stronger. That's all you have to do, is look at the facts. What is this? We have this leg down. So we have this leg down, and then we have this leg up. If you looked at this selling leg, sellers and then buyers, which one is more dominant? Sellers, right? That's all you have to worry about right now. And now, and if we have a look at these legs, which one is more longer than the other? Very clear, right? We have strong sellers, weak buyers. We're now likely to get some strong sellers out of here. Now, again, this is a weekly chart, by the way, guys. So it takes many months for this thing to unfold. But looking at this thing here, if I now take this off the screen, because I don't need this on the screen anymore, and I'm looking at that level through there, you can actually see that we still can get a rally back up to this level through here and still be around that 50 to 60% level. Now you can see that where it is right now, if I go from that low to high again, and I bring on, say, the 38, as you can see, right, we've only retraced right now 38% of this down move, which is this level through. It's actually retraced 38% and rejected. If we fail through here right now and we start to break down, man, that's a very weak sign, because we couldn't even rally to the 50% and then we failed. That's a very weak sign in the markets, because what happens is that if you look at the markets as a whole, and when we're looking on the downside, that is, if the market comes here and it retraces almost 100% and then comes back down, see how that's a weak trend. But if it comes back down and it retraces 50 to 60% and then comes back down, that's actually a strong trend. But if it comes back down and retraces only 30% and then we roll back down, oh my goodness, this is weak here, weak, strong, and I call this SS, super strong, right? Because it's all about momentum in the markets, isn't it? So when we're looking at this chart through here on gold, the GLD price, what do we see through here? Right, we definitely see there's a significant lower low. And if you squeeze my chart up now, if I delete this off the screen through here, because you can see this line is actually the 38% level, and you squeeze your chart up, look at this chart through here. Okay, just look at it. Don't look past through here, because we don't really need to know anything through here. But when you squeeze your chart up, who's in control of this market? Big strong run down, weak rally up. We've created a significant lower low through these levels through here and a little rally up. That tells me, guys, that we still have there's still like an 80% chance we're going to fail through here and we're going to rally back down. Now, why has it been going sideways and not much, very, very volatile, not much happening with gold and silver? Because we've already had a big run in the markets. The market is like an energy source, isn't it? If you think about that, we use a lot of energy. Now we're building energy. Building energy for what? To go for another run. Just simple, right? And when you see this, that's all it really, really is. Especially when we start to break down through here. So I definitely the bottom in silver, the bottom in gold is definitely not in right now. And just because you think that the market's going to continue down, that silver and gold are going to go up, and all these things you think about, if the chart itself right now, is telling you that it's very, very weak, then don't try to go against that trend or try to go against that current. And the same for the SLV price as well too. You can see here on the SLV price, what's been happening in the last few months? Pretty much nothing, right? Pretty much sideways. Who's in control? No one right now. Just sideways on the short term. Let's go have a look at that long term and let's actually see what's going on through here. This is the very, very long term on the SLV chart. Let me bring this up through here a bit more. And let's actually go through here once again. Now, if we bring up this chart through here, once again, which one is more dominant? We have this selling leg and now we have this buying leg. So which one's more dominant? The sellers, right? What's happening through here? We used a lot of energy through here, so now we're building a lot more energy. And when we start to break, we're probably gonna break down again, and then go for another run and break below these lows through here on silver. And by the way, guys, that may be the final move on the downside before we get a big move, because I do believe we're going to see a big commodity boom. I believe gold and silver are going to go through a massive boom soon. To me, that's definitely in the makings over the next couple of years. It's very, very clear to see that. When that's going to start, I don't know when. But it's very, very, very clear to see that over the next few years, we're going to go through a massive shift in the markets where a lot of people are going to start to run back into the miners and they're going to start to run back into silver and gold. That's definite. But it doesn't mean we can't get another big, strong selling move. It might be the capitulation. It might be the bottom move type thing. You know what I mean? You can see back here in 2016, right, that we actually had what? We had a drop, rally back up to resistance, and then we dropped back down. What ended up happening? This here was the final push down. And then we started to what? Then we started to create higher highs and higher lows, and then we started some sort of an upward trend. This is what I'm looking for through here to start capturing a nice big move. Because once again, I do believe we're gonna go through a massive gold and silver boom. To me, it's just in the makings. Why? Because everything has been in such a big bull bubble market, including crypto, for not now right now, but not now by the way, but in the past, and the stock markets, that as everything sells off, yes, I do believe everything's going to start to go back into silver and gold, but that may not start until maybe 2020. You know what I mean? Like, we may have another year of downward move in these markets before they start to turn around. So wait for the market to start to tell you it's turning around first, because we may be getting ready for another capitulation, and we don't know how low this is going to go. Just because something is low, doesn't mean it's not going to keep going lower. You know what I mean? Like, if we go have a look at something like GE as an example. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, look at this here. Doesn't mean just because it's low doesn't mean it can't keep going lower in the market. So be smart about the way you're trading right now, and don't fight the market. Don't say, oh, well, these prices are so cheap that I'm going to buy the markets. Because if you do that, then guess what? You're trying to be smarter than the markets, aren't you? You're trying to pick bottoms and tops. And trading is all about probability. Trading is all about longevity in the markets. My mentor always said to me, he said, be smart about the way you're trading. Think about probabilities. Be smart about the way you're trading. He said, the market's going to be here in 5 or 10 years time frame. The question is, will you? The question is, will you be here? And so that's what I want to say there, guys, about that. So be smart about the markets. Once again, guys, we don't know what's going to happen, but again, that's why we're going to follow along with the markets, because we may get a bit more sideways movement on silver like this here, and then we get a big final push down, and then we get a rally back out. What does that tell me? This was a final capitulation before we maybe start to see another move up. Because that's what happened through here, didn't it? Had a final capitulation, and then we started the breakout, didn't we? Now, as you can see with the weeks, it wasn't straight up. It was an up week, and then we had a few down weeks, and then so on and so forth, right? So wait for that. If you're looking for some positions in silver and gold, once again, I do believe, and I'm waiting myself to get into some big long-term positions. You know, maybe buying the JNUG or the GDX or something like that. Makes sense? So, but right now we're getting very, very, very weak signs, and especially on those gold miners, those gold miner stocks. Now this is not for every stock, but the GDX and GDXJ especially, they're setting up for another big move down, like another big leg down. So we may be getting for another big leg down, and then it may be sort of capitulating to where we're now forming some sort of a bottom in the markets. Makes sense? So be smart about the way you're trading, guys. Before you go, make sure you grab the free Grab the Markets by the Balls training course. In this training course, you're going to learn the top 13 deadly mistakes, the success formula, charting boundaries, the PT method, the ultimate trading system, the blast-off trading system, #1 in trading indicator, the $1 million trade and money management, how successful traders approach the market, and so much more. Get this training course for free right now. Click on the very first link in the description to get this whole complete trading course to give you the edge on your side of trading this market. Do that right now, and I'll see you on the other side.